Hey guys, Donnie RightSide here. Bookmakers review. Sunday is the day. Super Bowl 57, Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs. We've covered just about every single angle on this football game. One more left to cover. That is the MVP market and who is going to take it down. Let's take a look at this game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs and find out certainly what makes sense. If we're talking about MVPs, it usually starts and quite frankly ends in Super Bowls with the starting quarterbacks. If we take a look right now, it's even up across the board. Patrick Mahomes to win the MVP, plus 130 price. Jalen Hurts to win the MVP, plus 130 price. Let's also get this out of the way right here before we analyze some of the players. It's almost impossible for the losing team to come up with an MVP in the Super Bowl. It's extremely rare that it happens. So remove that from the equation for yourself. Your handicap on the MVP market should start with who do you think is going to win the football game. Now, this video isn't about handicapping and who we think is going to win the football game going back and forth. You know me. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win this game. I do, but we're going to have to play devil's advocate on both sides. If we're looking at the quarterback position here, Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, as we said, a plus 130 price. If the Chiefs win the football game, it's really hard for me to say, well, wow, Patrick Mahomes won't win that award because the running game with Jerick McKinnon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire might be giving it a go. And obviously Isaiah Pacheco really was the brute ground force, or a defensive back or a defensive lineman over Patrick Mahomes. Let's flip it over to the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts. Pretty much the same perspective, but a little bit different here. If we're trying to line up these two quarterbacks, if the Eagles win, it's a little bit farther out there, or should I say not as far out there, that another player for the Eagles can win this award outside of Jalen Hurts because of the ground attack that they do have. Sure, Jalen Hurts could run one in, so could Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell, catching touchdown passes, Dallas Goedert on the outside, Dallas Goedert as a tight end, then on the outside, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. But if we're factoring the quarterback position for the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, it feels like he's the center of attention there, right? He's probably going to throw multiple touchdown passes. And if Pacheco doesn't score at least 2 touchdowns or any other running back, they're really going to be out of the equation. And quite frankly, the same thing with the defensive lineman. If the Chiefs win and Patrick Mahomes throws for 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions, and let's just say Chris Jones gets 2 sacks, he's probably not going to win that award here, right? So that's the way you have to focus it. From a Chiefs perspective, if they win, it's almost assuredly going to be Patrick Mahomes. There's a little bit more leeway if you're looking in the market for Philadelphia Eagles players if the Eagles do win. But having said that, Jalen Hurts rushes for 60 yards and a touchdown, throws for 2 more, and the Eagles win. No doubt in my mind, Jalen Hurts is going to win the MVP here. But let's take a look and go down the list a little bit here. 16-1 price, Travis Kelce, right? Outside of Patrick Mahomes for the Kansas City Chiefs, that's the player that's going to make the most sense. He is going to be the center of attention. If we're just looking at his prop bets here, he's going to have 8 catches and 80 yards just to hit his prop numbers for receptions and also reception yards. We do know that in the red zone, he's the man to be. That's Travis Kelce. That is who Patrick Mahomes is getting after. So that's a 16-1 price there. If we're taking a look at that 18-1 price, anything below 20-1, that comes up with A.J. Brown here. And this is why it could be so big. You can look at a wide receiver for the Eagles like A.J. Brown, 5 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. Legitimately, he will be in that race as long as a multiple running back system has been deployed by the Philadelphia Eagles, which could be a possibility. That means Boston Scott scores a touchdown, maybe Miles Sanders, but Jalen Hurts doesn't rush one in on the ground and throws, let's just say, 2 total touchdown passes, one to Dallas Goedert, one to A.J. Brown. But certainly leading the charge would be A.J. Brown with the yards over 100 and also a touchdown. A little bit farther down the docket here, Miles Sanders for the Eagles listed at 25-1. Not all that high. Reason for it, again, the Eagles deploy multiple running backs, particularly in the second half. If Sanders gets that hot start, 2 touchdowns on the ground in the first half, sure, he's going to be included in that market. But we've seen it time and time again with the Philadelphia Eagles, how they structure their offense. There is not necessarily a goal line back. The Dallas Cowboys have Zeke Elliott every time they get inside the red zone. He's the one that carries the football. That's not the case with the Eagles. Could be Miles Sanders, could be Boston Scott, could be Kenneth Gainwell, could be Jalen Hurts, as we said. If we continue to go down the list a little little bit longer, I think some intriguing ones pop in. Hassan Reddick of the Philadelphia Eagles is a 34-1 price to be MVP. Granted, it's very hard for a defensive player to win that award. Maybe this game ends up 14-13, 14-10, and you can see it settle in a little bit, but Reddick's going to have to get at least 2 sacks and also maybe have the biggest play of the game, as we saw with Brandon Graham in 2017 against the New England Patriots. Strip sack fumble at the end of the game. That could help propel him. But again, it's going to be hard, and that's why they're priced 34-1, not 4-1, to win the MVP from a defensive perspective. But let's take a look at Isaiah Pacheco, 50-1. Hear me out on this. Pacheco is a bowling ball for all intents and purposes out of the backfield. 16 carries, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 4 catches, and 40 yards out of the backfield. And again, Patrick Mahomes doesn't spray it all over the place and throw 4 touchdown passes in this game. He could be a live look here. Another one for the Philadelphia Eagles, even going farther down the list, it's Dallas Goedert. Guy's a monster in the red zone. Let's just say he catches 2 touchdown passes, and they were the only 2 touchdown passes for Jalen Hurts. You can see something like that play out. All the way down the list, ridiculousness. You want to go into it? How about Kenneth Gainwell, 130-1? We've seen him get double-digit carries in back-to-back games in the playoffs and certainly perform well. One of those guys where maybe he catches a touchdown out of the backfield, maybe he scoots in for a touchdown. The Eagles have a total of 4 touchdowns in the game. He has 2 of those, and also the other 2 touchdowns aren't, let's just say, Jalen Hurts throwing to 2 different wide receivers outside of Kenneth Gainwell. Do you see where I'm going on this? It's very hard as you get all the way down the list. But again, if we're just looking to analyze it, it's usually the quarterback from the winning team. But I do think there is some value a little bit below that with Travis Kelce, A.J. Brown, and possibly from a defensive end, Hassan Reddick on that side at a 34-1 price. It's all going down Sunday, and it's all happening also at Bookmakers Review. I cannot wait until Sunday to watch everything play out. Good luck on all your wagers out there. And for Bookmakers Review, Donnie RightSide, you got it. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Get after it.